we're going to take a fairly long length of thread, cut it, and take the cut end and bring it right to the first warp on the leftmost side. And we're going to tie this on, just a simple little knot, back the other way. And it's very important that you leave a tail long enough here in order to thread your needle, so we're going to hide this at the end of our weaving. I want to let you know that what we've done to this point is illustrated completely in the instructions that come with the package. So this is going to show you how to warp your loom. The next section of the instructions are going to tell you how to begin your weaving, and that's what we're going to do right now. I just want to let you know that this is with your packaging, so if your style of learning is looking at illustrations, these are there for you. The patterns that you'll use will normally look like this. They'll either be cross stitch, needlepoint, or you can make your own. They're usually done on graph paper, and you can have fun with your colored pencils and create your design, which will show you where your beads are going to go. They'll also look like this when you're working with a book, and you'll have your graph here of where your beads should go. And a lot of times I just do my own, and it's on graph paper. It's pretty rough looking, but I know what I'm doing. And today we're going to use this particular little graph, and it has a repeat. So with that, we're going to begin our weaving. With my graph handy and my beads laid out on my pad, I'm ready to start. The way we start is we're tied on. We're going to bring our needle and thread underneath the warp. We're going to pick our beads up according to our design. And I don't talk while I'm picking up my beads because I'm also counting, so it's going to be quiet for a few minutes. But I will get the whole row on my needle. So I'm going to have 7 of the lavender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 of this very pretty metallic. And I'm going to have 3 of the green. And that's my whole first row of my pattern. I draw the beads down and line them up. Now your first row is always a little dicey because what you're trying to do at this point is make the beads, each bead go between each warp. And I'm feeling like the tension's a little loose, so what I'm going to do is release this knob over here and tighten up my tension, and release this knob and tighten my tension this direction. You don't want it so tight that it feels like it's going to break, but you want it tight enough so that it doesn't bend or dip on you while you're putting your beads in. Much nicer. Push your beads all the way up to the very top. I see a couple that are down. Sometimes they need to be encouraged. They're a little shy. Bring them up to the top. Take the back end of your beading needle and go right through the entire row. This puts your thread on the top side while your other thread is below. This part really surprised me. I'm a weaver, and I had the idea that I'd be going in and out of each of these, but it's row by row. So let's do the second row. Again, following my chart, I'm going to be picking up beads for the second row. This time I'm going to have 6 lavender, 2 metallics, and 4 green. There we go. Row 2 is ready. Same process. Now this gets a little bit easier because these beads are holding those warps separate. Now you need to make it comfortable for yourself. If you work really close to here, it's hard to get your finger under. So I'm up about an inch from the edge of my groove set here from the warping beam. Here we go, back into the needle. You're going to ask me, why would she put the back end of her needle through there? The reason is the front end is very sharp, and I don't want to prick any of these warp threads. They need to stay in good shape. You don't want to catch any of those threads. So there you go. You will continue weaving until you complete your pattern. Well, as you can see, my pattern is growing, and I have very little thread left, and I have more design to do. So I'm going to teach you how to add on your thread. This will happen to you in all of your work, so we might as well cover how this is going to be done. So if you know a surgeon's knot, that's what we're going to do. We're going to cross the old with the new, and I take 1, 2 turns on the bottom, and I'm going to take my right one and make 1, 2 turns or loops on the top. Then I'm going to pull all 4 at the same time. And there's our surgeon's knot. This is nice and tight. We want to cut these, trim these ends, because you don't want those coming out of your project. So you're going to cut those at about 1/4 inch. Well, 1/2 inch. Anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2. You'll see I'm just beginning to put my last row on. And I'm going to bring that up. Last row is done the same as the first row. But we're going to tie off this time, and this is what I want you to see. So my back into my needle is going through the row. And this time I'm going to take my needle around that leftmost last warp, and I'm just going to loop it through and make just a little bit of a knot. That way this is not going to slide out. All right, we're done.